Hello and welcome to Beyond the Veil background information. Today we're doing a culture video, and of course the culture is literally just stuff related to the Veil universe that I write my stories in. We do a brief quote from where something's mentioned, and then I just get into it. And we're doing about Veil television, which is actually quite a big subject, so I've broken it down. So this is sort of just the introductory bit. So, I think it's important for morale and for transparency that everyone needs. How about each of the Bund meetings become filmed and available for anyone to see? I mean, have it live on television like we have for big events, and make it obvious that we're doing our jobs and we're listening. Isn't that what they want? Isn't that what we want? Quote from the Viper King. Television in the Vale is almost newer than it was for outside of the Vale. Its first big use was in the 1940s to make a point of punishing the purists and setting forth a series of rules and laws that everyone would follow that were close to a sort of human rights bill. Aside from that, there was very little that was used by the educational programme showing images of wild animals and beings within the Vale. One or two quiz shows that were not really entertaining, and the news programme. Initially, the only times to view anything were between 3 and 10 in the evening for most of the Vale, and only one channel. It was all in French, although spells were placed to translate things for viewers, and it was all under the control of the Volturi clan, meaning it was heavily biased and not really thought about. Then, during the 50s, the American Vale decided that they would create their own channel for their own people, and their idea encouraged every country to have a television channel of some kind, meaning everyone in the Vale had access to each channel. Of course, television in the Vale is free. Laws were put in at the earliest stages to say that it was all funded by the noble circle, country governments, and private donors, all that sort, to actually get what they wanted put out there. But initially, it was just what was necessary to keep the system going. Although the English Vale had queried introducing television licensing, it has been quashed by the noble circle at every point. The use of television for propaganda and news soon meant it was being used more frequently to live broadcast certain incidents going on, and in the mid-50s there was the thought that people liked watching movies and enjoying watching shows, so why not create weekend and night viewing? Films were contracted to be played and reached a wider audience. There were shows produced that went in search of rare beasts. There were sporting events, melodramas, and weekly plays, but what really hit it off were the game shows and the comedy. Soon, the Bell Television was having to produce programs that equated to something to watch in the daytime and nighttime, and children's shows were introduced as well as weekly serial shows that could keep everyone going. Each country was soon making their own serial, and it was not long before everyone was in competition to get better looks, better writers, and better actors. The television industry exploded in the 60s when colour finally came to most sets, and curiously, so did the music of the time. Soon it would be very hard to distinguish the current Vale television vision from the rest of it now. There were all sorts going on, and with more competition and more money coming from people buying televisions or just providing gossip, or the selling of merchandise and records, things were soon incredibly busy, not to mention the advent of advertising threw tons of money at them. There hasn't been much in the way of change amongst the Vale television, however, although digital services have meant people can watch things at any time without having to buy them. There has not been a charge for these services to be used. Some premium services are giving programs from their own studios and services where you can go ad-free, with a small yearly payment exists, but mostly the free services are still used. As advertisement in the Vale has strict rules, strict time slots, and is demon tested to check for lies, it is not as invasive as it is elsewhere, and most people are quite comfortable with the ads. Some companies even buy their own ad time to show upcoming programs that make it a little less frustrating for some viewers. Plus, there are no adverts attached to children's television. None of the toy adverts come on except in the evening with more educational programs, so there is less frustration for some children if they see things they can't always have. The needs of children have become very important with television, and there's a special channel which can be changed to any language and any age group that does schooling with children so that even if they're off sick, they can still learn. It's been a lifesaver for a lot of bees, especially during the experience of lockdown. There are strict rules with children's programs too, and for the child actors. There has been a real need to prevent them being overworked, harmed, or missing school, and they are never on set without parents. Often, their parents being pulled into the show somehow. There are also strict rules about what kind of fighting or climbing or jumping sort of programs are on, knowing well that children will try to imitate, and those I'm complaining that the lack of slime or anything really scary is babied down. It's at least meant that there are no children jumping from heights because they've seen it on television. But because this is a large category to discuss in many ways, I've separated the next sections out for the next lot of videos. So we're going to learn next time about the news reporting in the Vale, the serial dramas, the big dramas that everyone talks about, the quiz shows, and then the comedy shows, before then discussing a few of the scandals that have happened from television. Hopefully that will be an interesting topic of discussion for you. Thank you.